Alright, welcome back everyone. Here we are through step 66 of the, I done forgot the Spirit Valley of the Magic Ring book Nook. I think it's really going to come together and look nice when it's all said and done. I'll be honest, looking at the pictures on the website, it looked like it's a little too cluttered, but I think it's going to balance out to be okay. Let's see, got sort of focus on that. You know, it's sort of hard to get too much depth of field for the camera to really focus. But everything's, like I say, coming together, looking good, and I think it's going to be a really sharp set when it's all said and done. But if you're new here, this is what I do. I buy these kits and build them step by step, mostly in real time. You get to see all my successes and all my failures, and how I hopefully fix those inevitable failures as they come up. Have a good time and upload daily, and basically just try and enjoy ourselves. We're not doing anything to change the world, we're just building silly little models, the way I look at it. But if you've seen any kits or builds or models that you'd like to see me take a shot at, feel free to drop in the comments, because I'm always looking to add on to my list, and y'all seem to have very good taste in kits. So, without any further ado, let's jump in onto step 67 and get rolling with this thing. So we are actually staying with this bit. Gotta run our chain between these two. And I just realized this chain may be too long like the others were, but it's got that extra step down to go by, so maybe it won't be that bad. See if I can get all this centered and in frame and tight. Okay, so I got our little, they had me make the chain the other day. I found the easiest way to do it is to get it and bend it open like that, rather than spread it out. That way you don't have to, it's easier to realign it than it is trying to squeeze it back together. Or so it seems to be to me. And tweezers out here to do my up, just spun a little bit maybe. Okay, I think I've turned my lights down too low. Nope, don't do that. Okay. And got them closed back up like that. I hope it's tight enough where that chain won't come out. Now the other side. Let's see, I don't want to. Let me do a test fit here. How long? That chain's gonna be pretty low. I'm gonna go ahead and take a couple of 3 links out again. Like so. One there. And let's see, about 3 links maybe. Managed not to break everything doing that. And that back through. And our dwarf caught it for us, thank you. Maybe I can do it. There. Okay, I think that's going to work if I can just get my fingers to operate it. Okay. It's not gonna. Okay. I'll move over these ones that have the teeth on it, so they can hopefully grab onto my rings a little better to bring them together. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. Yeah, it's a little more uniform with the other chains on our little bridge. Okay. And I'm trying to see. I'm supposed to put this in. Okay, that lay right here to sort of act like a bridge onto the bridge. That's sort of. Yeah, try to get that. Like that. Okay, so pop you back out and get my old B7000 back out again. Probably been easier to do before I put that chain in the way there, but it won't take much to hold it. Let's do me a little bead dribble right through there. Need to clean that nozzle off again and drop you down in there. Okay. That should stay fairly. Oh, get that nozzle should be right quick, hopefully. Okay, being less quick than I was expecting it to be to clean off the nozzle. Okay, there it goes. Much better. Okay. Now, that was all. I'm going to have a few minutes for that side to dry, so I'm going to set you aside and bring out the other side back in. And 68, at long last, we get to put our fire drake on. Just looking at that, I realize it's onto the side here. Or actually, so I didn't color the sides of these things, but I think I'm going to go back and do that now. Just at least the side facing out, because we should be in some shadows there. So go like this, so this side needs to be, let's say, hopefully blend it in a little bit. Yeah, just color the whole thing while I'm going. Here, that way. Not the thick one marker, so make short work of it, so let's get it over with. Okay. Now, okay, so it's these two. There's our short one. It's here. And the long one here. And then again. Onto that. Alright, so it's got actually pretty well concealed back there. But that black, I think that'll help to shade it even more. But it's going to be floating above. Let's see, it's going to be that sort of situation. For some reason I thought that was further back into the background. Okay. Now, get these guys on for step 69. They're just Pretty sure they're just mirror guides or something. So not gonna. Didn't do anything with them. They should be fairly. This one especially should. It's behind this wall, so it should be. And that's pretty much behind the dragon. So yeah, I didn't even bother coloring them in or anything. And now it's time to join the sides together. Alright, so I got a little bit more. Of course, these two to those two. And then there's got a gap for our wires to go down. Actually, just this wire goes through the gap. This one stays on the behind everything. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so just make sure this wire lines up with that gap. And that wire doesn't need to be in the way. Start. Touch that back one in first. Okay, no. Not very dramatic. Get you. Yeah. Alright, there it goes. And get our steps in our castle up there. Need some. Got a little misalignment with our steps right there, so I need to give a little push with it. Alright, I got them. Yeah, they're flush. Yeah, everybody's flush. And our wires. And there's full scene going. Okay. Alright. Now we get to set you aside. Alright, get to start working on our roof, I think. Where to put it? Okay, that's. And fittings. And this guy. Those tabs that way, notch this way. LED, hook it up to the extension cord. And go in there. These guys are what's going to hold this one in place. Situated there. Should provide plenty of light there. Okay. Now, these guys go into the top of the long tail away from that tab. So Now, this guy goes on the little tabs. Okay. Okay. Well, I wasn't sure that'd be tight enough, but it feels like it's in there pretty snug. Okay. Now, ooh, didn't notice the sky. Okay. Wire going that way. These guys go in here. I didn't paint those or anything, but that's actually not a bad match, so that's good. Okay, so I got that situation going. And now, you set you aside. Got a couple of clouds and our mirror. I can just do our peel here. Say hi to my camera there. Okay, now these go up here, like so, evidently. So it's sort of like that. Towards, nope, notch. Hold it there and there. Okay, yeah. Not gonna want to do much swizzing around on our mirror here, so I'm just gonna do dots right down the middle. I think trying to basically stay away from the edges. I got a little close from one spot there. Basically pick a good spot and stick with it, I think. So, not like there. And same thing with this one. Not as much meat on this bone, so let's just do 3 dots. Proceed to drop it right on there, so 3 more dots. Gonna be here. Now, set that aside and let that glue get sticky. Bring in our skylight dust cover. Do a couple of peels. I think it's a couple of peels. Alright. And main assembly back in place. Drop our dust cover into the other way. Those notches there and there. And I think I got it, yeah. I think I got the perfect little band for this situation. Let me get a hold of it. Big dog daddy rubber band here. So I say it's sort of fighting me over there, so I can't get it. Sort of line things up for me here. Okay. Now, and our roof goes in back there. Alright, I intended to make, if everything works the way I meant for it to, I forgot these guys, but I was going to try and do just a black frame around the edge so it doesn't have the splits. So if it all works out, there should be a nice solid black line all the way around all the edges. Okay, I'll take the band off. Oop, hooked up. Okay. Now, that mirror has had enough time to set up. I think it has. But I'm going to give it 5 minutes, so I'll be right back. I want to make sure these clouds are going to stay in place for me, so I'm going to take a 5-minute break and let them get good and sticky before I try and go vertical with them. So, be right back. Okay, it's had a few minutes now. So, oh, I was already on the right side. Okay. So basically, supposed to, from what I can tell, put our wire here out of the way. That's what the notch at the top is for. And we rest it on that edge. And I guess this back part there. Looks like, yeah. Okay, and then when we put the back on, that's going to lock it in place. So over there onto those tabs we just did. Our wire. Good and snug. Okay. That does wedge in pretty tight. Okay. And then take our wire, run it straight down the middle. There's a hole in the bottom. Okay. Alright. Now, get our back cover here, and you go that way. Ease you down. Okay, so much for my black frame. I did miss this part too. Okay. But that's the back, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Alright, back cover in place, wires all where they're supposed to be. So stand you back up. I got that sort of look going. Alright. Yeah, that's cool. Digging it, digging it. Okay. Now, a couple of the parts I've been dreading. Got our little bags of moss and grass, and I think that's a fanghorn tree. In theory, get that sort of ragged look to fanghorn forest, I think. Okay, so right a second, let's pop you back. This guy into the notch there. Tree goes top of it. This sort of may. I think that's going to be. Once I put the front frame on that, I think that'll cover up everything that needs to be covered there. So I think, yeah, I was thinking about getting the hot glue gun out and tacking that in place, but I think that'll be all right. It's not going wildly out of place, out of line. Okay, and get the old phone stand out. And it says we're supposed to put. This is supposed to be like vines, it says. Let's see. How viney are the vines? Yeah, that's okay. It's got some stringiness to it. So, okay, a couple more. It's supposed to hang that from this sort of down. And this, our grass powder, is supposed to go on top of our hobbit hole there. So for that, I'm going to get out the old PVA glue, Elmer's stuff I had when I was a kid. It was one of the few brand name products that was cheap enough for my parents to actually bought it for me. Let's see, just run me a bead, a blob there. Use this because I don't mind getting it on my fingers because it does clean up pretty easily. Just spread it around a little bit. That's hopefully nice, even. Like I say, this stuff looks like fiberglass, so I'm a little worried about that. Give me some pinch of it. Let's see what happens here. And now, I'm going to use tweezers maybe to. Down corners and the front. Okay, now okay, that actually doesn't look bad. As far as the grass effect goes, everywhere seems to be binding to itself as well as the glue. So that, yeah, I'm really impressed with that. Actually, that does look. It looks as good on camera as it does in person. That's, yeah. Okay. Cool. Maybe they know what they're doing. Now this stuff. Let me look at the front of the box. I'm trying to envision this. Nope, upside down. Okay, it's a pretty healthy dose of that stuff. I don't want to hide my hobbit hole, because it does look pretty good. Okay, so I think I'll stick with the Elmer's. It's sort of a similar situation. Just give me a little bead. Squeeze it around my finger here. Good. And just start dropping those guys in. Nope. Turn the corner thing. That's too thick. That's not much. Yeah, sort of like the ivy going down onto it. Yeah, I think that'll work. I'll get the front cover on. That'll sort of smush that in place. A little more coverage up here, maybe. Got the stuff pulled out, so let's use it. Okay. There's a fair amount hanging off back in here, so I think that's going to be a good effect. Yeah. Still see the details down there, so yeah, okay, yeah. I wasn't sure about that. I'll admit it. Sort of, this stuff always makes me nervous when I start trying to use it. I think it's left over from when I try to do the snow at Christmas time. Okay. So. Okay, now that's. I'll let that sit over there for. Let that dry a little bit longer than it usually does. Now we can install our battery pack into the base. Screws. And for some reason, the last step is having us turn it upside down and glue these things in place. But I'm going to go ahead and just put the feet on now because I'm sitting here with it. So for that, I'm going to go to the old Gorilla Super Glue just to get the instant set on. That I think makes life easier. A little dab right in the middle. Yep, and the pressure. Over here, yeah, there. Going. And fighting me. And last one. Okay. I don't think those are going anywhere. Now, let's go. Make sure it goes in these. So let's wire through there. This guy should just drop in. It does not line up with the holes. Okay, I got some wiggle room out there. There he goes. And there's my a good screwdriver for this. I lost it. Probably looking for the wrong color. Should have a spare around here. Yeah, said this was a good screwdriver for it, maybe. Yep, it is. Cooperate with it. Ah. These magnetic screwdrivers are either too magnetic or not magnetic enough. Always the same for me. Okay. Not great on alignment of the holes here, but close enough, I think. A little too tight on that one, made a little cracky sound, it didn't like. Alright. There those are. Nice. Feet in place. Okay. And okay, so now battery box. Okay, so that's that wire gets its own thing. Lay the wires out the front here. So looks like these two supposed to go together. And, oops, need my brackets. Didn't get those out. Okay. It looks like hopefully these are going to be plenty loose in there even when they're installed. I think they will be. Yeah, gives room for, there's wiggle room on there, so that's good. Okay, that in there. There we go. Adjust them as we need to, or as we install bottom. Okay, that's our switch button. And this guy, which is two of those guys actually. Wait a second. No, I'm trying to. Actually, this one doesn't get tied. Oh, okay. Yeah, I did that wrong. Yeah. I don't think it's going to matter in the long run, but I will undo it. There you go. So, yellow wire goes by itself over here. The red wire and the switch and our power cable goes over here. Yeah. On the wire. Okay, so those two Go together here and here. Now it doesn't want to wiggle room, but it's still adjustable. And then the yellow wire goes by itself to this bracket. This wire is already going to be up at the front anyway, just by nature of where it's run. Okay. So we got all these guys, and bring it up. So we can keep bringing these guys up so we got room to adjust with. Okay, so we've got a little slack on all of them. Now our touch sensor. And I think the power line would be the only one that would really matter. That's the one, bigger one. These guys have all got, they'll just on or off. So, actually, I'll do you on the top. Oh, by the way. No, I had it right. Okay. Yep. I thought it wouldn't matter. Look the same. Yep. Ah, there it went. Just wasn't lined up properly. You got. No. Everybody's in. Let's flip the switch and get the lights at test before we install everything. Yep, very bright lights. Yeah. All right. Yep. All right. Cool. Switch it off now so I don't drive myself crazy. Okay. Well, now let's move you back. Make sure the wires are clear of the outside. Forward. Take up all the slack we can. Just squeeze you guys in. Uh-oh. My base came out here, huh? Okay. My riverbed came out from a side mounts here, so got that back in now. Okay. Back. Okay. Those guys. And now, once again, moving back to our, here we got, once again, actually let's move you all the way over the other side here. Getting fairly stable now, it's easier to move it around, because it's finally time to get our ring and our last little bit of chain. links out. And then the actual chain, if I can get a hold of it. They did give us plenty. And I still got a couple of links in there. We already, this is the last we're going to use up, and we only need like, you know, this much. So let's see what's it say to do chain wise? It says about 20. I think I'm just going to eyeball it. Let's see, where's it go? Okay, so the links go here and here, it says. So that's what I'll do. I'll just put the first one in. Install it, and then I can decide where I want the other one to go. This one, a little bit wider. There. Ring on. We'll think about like that. I want it to be prominent, but I don't want it to be taken away from the other thing. Yeah, I think that's about right. Okay, so you out here. And if I don't like it, I've got plenty to try again. Okay, and wide open there. That seems very ambitious to get. I guess it's gonna work. The last link. Close you back up. Okay. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good. Like I say, want to make sure it's good and visible, but I don't want it to be too distracting. Okay. So now two-sided foam tape. And our assembly back out. This gonna go on here. Looks like not like so. So yeah, I'll put okay. Piece. It's got it going straight along the whole length here. So. And that's looks like it was made for that. Separate, that's the next trick. There it is. Okay. Now it's just a matter of tucking our wires back in, hopefully. And one last, or maybe two last peels, I'm not sure two last peels. Yeah. Another permanent dust cover. I like the ones that you can remove if you want to. Makes it easier for me to make thumbnails. This one's, I'm showing them for y'all, but isn't sort of got some, not the highest manufacturing quality, it doesn't appear. Okay, so then here. Not lining up. Okay, bottom lines up. Top. Okay. I think. Okay, I'm knocking off some of my lines here. Don't cover up my. I still want to be able to see the actual hobbit hole. Okay. So, shouldn't make a difference. Oh. Shouldn't keyword. Yes. Something's not square here, so that's okay. So I'm going to nip this top tab off. I'm gonna keep getting static on my vines there. Just a second ago, this one lined up reasonably acceptably there on the bottom. Okay. Okay, so we're in there. Tuck those guys in as we go. Evidently my dust cover is out here. That's stopping that from going flush. Okay. New executive decision. Dust cover is going away because I say something's not square or something. So. And it's fighting me too much. So let's just forego that. I think I'd rather have access to it. Okay, so here. And with time, I could probably have adjusted that in and made it acceptable, but I think it's going to be better without it for my sanity at this point. I am. Let's see. I hate that I took that much. No, I'm taking those off. I hate that I took that many vines off my hobbit hole. Draw some of these down to. Yeah, okay. All right. Power and Even the touch sensor works. Okay, other way. Oop. And I guess need a little bit of light here, so that's it. Yeah, like I say, extremely bright lights. Nice touch sensor work here. Doesn't appears to be a good quality mounting job. Yeah. There we go. The Spirit Valley of the Magic Rings. I think, as I said, I'm sure. I think that's a good spot. That ring, I know, doesn't show here, but it does. That seems. I think that's the perfect height for it to hang down. It's in front of our dragon, but it's not distracting too much from it. It's just some more light now. I think this shows the colors and everything better. Yeah, that's a good looking book. Glad I picked it up. Fun little build. Like I said, I didn't even notice the hobbit hole whenever I bought it. I like the waterfall effect down here. I thought it was going to be too cluttered, and it's cluttered, but it doesn't seem overwhelming. Everything's as it should be. Our dwarf is actually lit up pretty well back there somehow. I guess reflecting and refracting. Plenty of lights. Those top ones back there next to the mirror really do a good job of lighting up the back part back there. And looks like there is a gap right there. Sort of takes out of the illusion, but where it doesn't line up. It's pushed up against the mirror, so that shouldn't be there. So that's surprising. I don't know why that should be up against the mirror. Oops, turn the light off. Is there a gap? Did the mirror fall? That's the next question. No, it's right there on it. I don't know how that worked. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty thrilled with this. It went together with much less difficulty than I thought it was going to be, aside from the dust cover, obviously. But I think, with time I could have adjusted that and got it in place. I just don't have the time or patience for that right now. But good looking kit. I recommend it. I think it's well worthwhile. Got since you're here, preview of tomorrow's. You can't see much detail on it. Should be a good palette cleanser. It's another one of those little light box deals with the layers. I don't know if you can tell, this looks like a magic owl situation going. Can't see much of the detail, but that's going to be tomorrow's. Should be a one-dayer on that, so that'll be a fun thing. And then I think I've got after that I picked up a little mechanical one that I'm sort of excited about. It's been on my feed in and out for the last couple of months. I finally bit the bullet and picked it up, and I think it'll be a really fun build. But there's that one. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Like, subscribe, comment, complain, share. Do whatever you want to with all that. Be good to one another. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time. And while we're at it, you got the links going up on the screen now. There's to subscribe to the channel, my little experimental channel, what YouTube thinks you should watch, and the playlist for this series. So, have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.